In today's video, we're going to be going over the current conditions, diving into that upcoming tropical cyclone, as well as just taking a look at the upcoming pattern. Let's just get straight into things, though, and first things first, we're taking a look at our current radar imagery. As you can see, we do have some thunderstorm activity down here in the deeper south. This is mostly that tropical type thunderstorms where it's just sudden downpours and then sunny again afterwards. And we do have a longer area here of thunderstorms as well up here. We see that monsoon picking back up for Arizona and New Mexico. And then we see some more moderate to heavy showers going on here throughout the Ohio Valley and the plains. So we see that for Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio, as well as Kentucky there. We're seeing those thunderstorms and heavier showers around for these states. And then there is some sporadic showers up here to the north a little bit. We also see some of that for the Great Lakes. So there is some of those around as well. Let's just take a look at the northwesternmost area seeing precipitation. I guess it's going to be up here where we just have these isolated showers around for Utah, Nevada, northern Arizona as well. As we work our way down, we see the monsoon taking place here, where there's really just showers spreading through the general Albuquerque area. They're kind of heading up towards Phoenix and Flagstaff as well. So it's kind of flowing like this. We can tell that the flow is mostly to the east because we see this pocket of showers and thunderstorms elongating from that monsoon all the way up into states like Colorado, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas as well near Amarillo, and even into Missouri with those heavier thunderstorms ongoing as well. And as we zoom into some of those, we can see they're quite intense here on the underneath side of this area of storminess. So areas in southern Kansas, southern Missouri seeing the worst of conditions with this so far. Even southern Illinois, it looks like as well. As we move a little bit further eastward here towards the Ohio Valley, we can see that taking place. So these pockets in here are seeing pretty decent thunderstorms there. Also the Appalachian area seeing some of those showers and thunderstorms taking place at this point. And then as we work our way further north, we can see more sporadic, lighter to moderate showers up there taking place for Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, Michigan as well, so areas like that. Now, as we work our way into Minnesota and North Dakota, we see some of that going on as well with some lighter showers, although there is those heavier showers there in Canada that are about to cross into Minnesota. So we're going to watch for those happening later on today into tomorrow. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to move on. And we're going to take a look at the upcoming pattern, where we're going to dive into the upcoming storminess, upcoming temperature pattern, that upcoming tropical cyclone, and some severe weather as well. Now here we are taking a look at the upcoming pattern, and we're just going to walk through this together here. Let's just take a look first off at this afternoon on Sunday, June 26th here. We can see that this storminess will expand throughout a lot of these areas here, even to the deep south there, where we'll see an extension of that underneath. All the way down there, and even Florida down here. Actually, I should have just done this because really all of these areas are seeing some storminess there, well down into the Caribbean actually. So we're seeing a lot of storminess throughout all of these areas here that's already there, and then all of these areas here is extending down. That's going to start later today. And then up here for the Ohio Valley and the Great Lakes, as well as the upper Midwest, we're going to see some of this storminess expand later today as well, and that's just kind of the look at this point. Now, for tomorrow, we see that cold front reaches the eastern United States, so this is where the storminess will line up right around there. We see this monsoon continuing here for the areas in Arizona and surrounding states, New Mexico actually mostly. We see a little bit for Arizona there, Colorado as well, Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, all these states see a lot of that ongoing. Now, by Tuesday afternoon, this is going to be the 28th, we see that the deeper south areas is where a lot of the storminess is in the United States. And then we just see sporadic showers kind of around the Canadian border up here taking place as well at this point. So that's for Tuesday, June 28th. Wednesday, June 29th, we see a lot of this happening along that jet still. And then, again, still the deeper south and the southeast. Seeing a majority of that storminess here for Wednesday, June 29th. Thursday, June 30th, we see, again, this continuing activity here in the southeast, continuing activity along that jet stream. This pattern kind of gets locked in, actually. Up until about this frame, actually, July 1st on Friday, we see something happening here in the eastern United States. We see a strong low here. It looks like a bit of a cold front developing here, and we'll have to see if this can dive in and swing into the eastern United States and further south. That would create a lot of storminess there. And by Saturday, July 2nd, it's pretty clear that is what's going to happen as we have this cold front around here for the Ohio Valley in the northeast by this point. Tons of storminess around for the entire southeastern and northeastern United States. Let's see, by Sunday, July 3rd, we see a lot of storminess throughout most of the eastern United States outside of the northeast, basically. And then, let's see, for July 4th here, 4th of July, we see this continued storminess here for a lot of these areas in here. So a majority of the United States seeing some storminess there, unfortunately, on 4th of July at this point. That's what we're expecting. And then we see pretty bad storminess actually picking up, especially throughout there. But we see some sporadic stuff underneath for the southeast and also for the northeast as well. Or better yet, the northwest and then the northeast as well. Just some different areas of storminess there popping up at the end of the model run. Now, for total precipitation through the next 10 days, if you're anywhere in the white, you're expecting practically no precipitation. Grays would be about 1/10 of an inch or less of precipitation. Your greens will be about 1/10 of an inch to 1/2 an inch. Your blues will be about 1/2 an inch to an inch. Your yellows will be about 1 inch to 2 inches. Your reds will be 2 to 5 inches. And then your browns will be 5 to 10 inches of precipitation there. We see a lot of that happening for Texas and other areas in the kind of the Central America regions there, Mexico, and other countries down there as well. Seeing a lot of that. There is a tropical threat popping up here in the Gulf of Mexico, and that's probably what a lot of this comes from, is kind of that tropical disturbance that's going to start up out there. We'll talk a little bit about that later on. Here's the total snowfall through the next 10 days, and this is really lowering at this point. If you're anywhere in the grays, we're expecting a dusting, if anything. We see some of that for Colorado, but I don't think we see that in any other state in the United States. So we are really reaching the end here of the snowy season. Up there in Canada, there's a few gray pockets, some of the Rockies there in Canada, and then also some of the very far northeastern regions of Canada as well, seeing some of those grays. Again, a dusting, if anything. Blues will be about 2 to 6 inches of snowfall, and we see some of that for the Canadian Rockies once more, and also a tiny bit up there in the northeastern regions of Canada. But that's where we come to an end here on the total snowfall. So we don't have to even go over the other color tables here at this point. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to move on, and we're going to take a look at that upcoming temperature pattern, and then we're really going to dive into that upcoming 2 tropical disturbances, and then eventually the severe weather. Now, here's the temperature pattern. As you can see, we're dealing with a ridge in the west at this point, a bit of a trough here in the central United States, and then another ridge here for the eastern United States. So we're seeing warmer air surge up the east coast here. Also, some of that able to work its way up the west coast here, really far actually up the west coast. And then we're seeing a lot of the cold air pour down around that ridge there in the west. So this is what's creating this very strong cold front along this end of that trough. And we're going to see this advance even all the way to the eastern United States here on Monday. So we see this ridge becomes a little bit inverted here, but we're seeing a lot of this trough work its way just like this along this cold front. So that's really advancing quickly, actually. And then by Tuesday, we can see this is fully over the eastern United States. But one thing I want you to note here is that there is some colder air working its way in. We see here to the northwest. That's a sign that this pattern's already going to get shaken up. By Wednesday, we see a lot of warmth heading eastward again. So I think it is getting shaken up quite a bit there. Thursday, look at that. A majority of the warmth here centered over the northeastern regions of the United States. There is some cooler air compared to normal here for the southeast, the south central, and even the Four Corner states, and then also for the Rockies a little bit there. Again, a majority of the warmth there over the central and the northeastern United States. Friday, definitely over the northeastern United States, although we have another ridge, it looks like, here over the western United States, which could force a trough to head eastward, which might be what this is. We'll have to see if this advances like the previous one that we saw. It could take place, but there's definitely some warmth out ahead of it. Take this towards Saturday, June 2nd, and this gets really sporadic in a hurry. We see a pretty clean ridge there in the west. It looks like a trough in the east, but it is all over the place. Sunday, July 3rd, I don't even know how to really decipher this. There's a lot of cool air for the west coast, the Four Corner states, the southeast, the northeast, the north central United States, and then there's some warmth in between. This is really messy looking pattern. Let's see. Monday, July 4th, we see definitely a trough developing here in the west and a ridge trying to develop over the central and eastern United States here on the 4th of July. Let's see by the 5th if that cleans its act up. It looks like it doesn't. It looks really weird, actually. There's a bit of a dome of warmth here in the southeast, but outside of that, everywhere is cooling down here at the end. And it looks like a cold front is even advancing here at the very end. So only time we'll be able to tell what ends up happening. I think there's a lot of cool air for the summertime, but I mean, it could happen, obviously, but it's not a common occurrence. So we'll have to wait and see with that one. My confidence in this temperature forecast gets really low after July 1st, I think. It just really drops like a rock into this weird pattern that isn't really, it's just not a clear pattern at all. So we'll wait and see. We'll take that with a grain of salt. Let's go ahead and take a look at the storm, or better yet, the National Hurricane Center for those two tropical disturbances real quickly. And here we are taking a look at that. And as you can see, we have a code yellow there for that Gulf of Mexico threat, and then a code red for that main development region threat there. First off, the code yellow here, we have a 0% chance over the next 2 days and a 20% chance over the next 5 days. So it's not a high chance by any means, but there is a tropical disturbance heading towards Texas and Louisiana that definitely needs to be noted. And then this red one down here, our main area of concern, is going to be a 40% chance over the next 48 hours and then a 70% chance over the next 5 days, which is considered to be a high chance of development. So obviously chances are higher than, we have a better than 50-50 shot of this one developing. But it does look really suppressed to the south, like I was mentioning yesterday, and it kind of draws some resemblance of some of those 2020 storms that we had. Back in that year, it was a really bad hurricane season, but we had a lot of storms take this type of a track and get really suppressed to the south, and I can recall that happening a couple of times, and this might be one of those types of events, but only time will really be able to tell. We're going to take a look at the intensity guidance in a minute and the spaghetti model guidance. So let's take a look at that intensity guidance first off. Here we are taking a look at that. As you can see, I think all but one, two models don't get this one the tropical storm status at all. And then all but two get it at least to tropical storm status. And then I'd say about half at least get it to category 1 status there. And a majority of that half that gets it at least to category 1 takes it to category 2 and even some of them to category 3. So the chance is there that we somehow get a major hurricane out of this one. With the southern track like that, I really am amazed that that's even a possibility at this point. But really anything between a tropical depression and a category 3 seems to be a possibility. And obviously anything is possible, so even a category 4 or 5 couldn't be 100% ruled out in any storm, no matter what. But at this point, I think I'm siding with the tropical storm potentially, maybe like approaching category 1 or getting to category 1. I think with that southern track, I'm just really skeptical about this really intense storm like category 2, 3, or 4. I just don't see that happening with this type of a storm, but it is possible, so we're going to want to really pay attention regardless. So tune in daily with us, as we're going to just be giving daily updates, but that's just my 2 cents at this point. Let's take a look at that spaghetti model guidance real quickly. Now, first things first, this is kind of your every single model here popping up, and this looks even further south than yesterday to me. If you were to draw a cone, it looks something like this. And at this point, I mean, there's a lot of, within the next 72 hours, a lot of land interaction that's going to happen right here. And that's going to really be a big factor. It will re-enter this area where it'll be over water for a good 24 hours, just pure water, no land interaction. But then, boom, right back into Central America. So, for this type of a track, for this storm to hit, first off, have a lot of land interaction there midway through this track, but then also to slam straight into Central America and only getting a few pockets of being over straight water. I just don't see this one becoming a major hurricane. Again, anything is possible, and that's not, to say it's impossible at all, but it's just going to be much harder than some storms would have. Now, if we saw a spaghetti model doing like this, that would be a lot of water. You can see that that's the sweet spot for a storm to take, where if it was to take that track, it would be the most limited land interaction possible this far south. This is why a lot of storms that go north of the Dominican Republic and Haiti and into the Bahamas do a lot better, because there's no mountainous islands anywhere near that line I just drew. It's just straight open water. That's why a lot of those storms get a lot stronger than the ones south of Cuba, south of Jamaica, south of Haiti, south of Dominican Republic, south of Puerto Rico, in the southern Caribbean. Those ones just don't tend to do as well because there's so much. It has to go just right for it to have a chance to develop, for a long time. And even then, it's going to have to cross over some sort of really intense mountainous land at some point to get out of there. I hope that makes sense. Here's the GFS ensemble model, and we're pretty far south on this one as well. There's like a couple members here that get us stronger. And all these members that get us stronger, the blues and oranges indicating a stronger storm there, they all go further north than the mean average. So that's a clear indication that the model thinks the further north this goes, the stronger it could get. But these southern tracks definitely do not make this one get very strong. It's only these ones that go further north here and get, no land interaction. All of those members don't have any land interaction here. They all just kind of cleanly scrape by, and then like this. That would be, again, that sweet spot for maximum development with this storm. Now, the Canadian ensemble model is a little bit further north on the mean average, so we don't actually get direct land impact on the mean average. It's awfully close, but we just don't get it. And you notice we do get some blues in here as well. And again, just like the last model, every single one of them is north of that mean average line, which is the black line, by the way. So that's the mean average of all of the little individual members here, which is all the green and blue areas that you see there. But north of that mean average is where we see all of these stronger systems and forecasts there. So I think that's definitely worth noting. The further north this one goes, the better chance for stronger development. The further south it goes, the more chance of suppression and, it not really ever being able to get its act together. This one could go either way, folks, and it's going to be a nail biter. So tune in with us daily again, like I said, and we're going to be going over this every single day. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to move on and take a look at that Storm Prediction Center real quick. Now, here's the day one categorical outlook for today on Sunday, June 26th. We have 2 general thunderstorm risks, one up there for North Dakota, and then one there for a lot of the southern United States and even the northeastern United States. This is where we expect general thunderstorms, but anything is possible, so heed every watch, warning, and advisory. In the darker green region there for the deep south all the way up through the Ohio Valley and the northeast, that is where we have a marginal risk at severe weather, and we expect isolated severe weather to occur. Now, for day 2 here, that's going to be Monday, June 27th. We have 2 general thunderstorm risks again. One up and down the East Coast, horseshoeing all the way around the Gulf Coast, and then back up through east of the Rockies, up into the upper Midwest, and that even extends down a little bit through Florida. And then we have one there for Washington and Oregon. This is a really weird looking day on Monday, June 27th. That is our general thunderstorm risk, and we expect only general thunderstorms. But again, heed every watch, warning, and advisory. Then for day 3, we have a very large horseshoeing general thunderstorm risk again, where again you're going to want to heed every watch, warning, and advisory. But we also have 2 marginal risk areas, one there for Montana and then one there for Minnesota, Iowa, and Wisconsin. This is all where we expect isolated severe weather to be possible on Tuesday, June 28th. Anyway, really weird Storm Prediction Center forecast there. Don't really have anything to say about it. It's very strange, but overall we're not expecting major severe weather at all over the next 3 days. Now, for today's confidence stab, we're at a 4 out of 6. Obviously, there's a few things like the temperature forecast, the tropical system for sure, among other things that I really just don't feel super confident in yet. Confident enough to put it at a 5 out of 6, but we're getting there. Now, for today's patron highlight of the day, I want to thank you all for supporting the channel, but especially our platinum patrons, Bill Crates, James Wade, Dovin Nagel, Lure the Pan, Mandy Birchfield, Patrick Strickland, Dave Scott, and Donna Carnes as well. I'd also like to thank our diamond patrons, Bill Roberts, Marcus Connolly, Noah, Holly Michael Lessa, Catbite, Charles Dennett, Bill Dallas, Garys, and John Colisi also. I'd also like to thank our channel members, Catbite, Steven Fan, and Jeremy Cox as well. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. I'll see you guys in the next video.